Okay, so we are live. Let's get into it. I am so happy that this is working as it should be. Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. So let's just get into it. So, hey everyone, welcome to the channel. It's nice to see you. This is High Priestess Demari speaking, as always. And yes, I had to do the live stream a day later than I usually have scheduled, but I was determined to get it done this week. So here we are. 1st of December, crazy. I can't believe it's already December, but here we are. So yeah, there's a lot happening energetically and especially collectively. Okay, obviously we have a lot going on individually, but in terms of the collective energies, it's a big time. Okay, there's a lot happening right now. So I thought it was important that we kind of look into that, as well as just recap on some of the things that I discussed in the December 2023 reading as well. I did a live stream last week where we looked at the collective energies, but also the specific energies associated with each zodiac sign. If you haven't seen that, I highly recommend checking that out. Okay, when you've got a moment, it's definitely going to be beneficial. And it ties in directly with some of the things that I wanted to bring to your awareness when it comes to the sort of channeled energies and channeled messages that I have received, some of which I got literally about an hour and 20 minutes ago. Okay, so it's really, really relevant and is very much in the present moment. Okay, so I do recommend checking that out. But yes, I hope you're all doing well. It's nice to be able to jump on here and, put a face to the name and, sort of do a different format as well. Of course, it's always nice to see you guys on the live chat. So if you are joining in live, don't be shy, say hi. It's always nice to interact with you and always try my best to read every comment that comes up. So yeah, where do we begin? December. This is a very, very pivotal time, okay? And this isn't just for December, okay? This isn't a December specific reading. We've already done that, but obviously it's relevant because this is the energy right now. There's a lot happening, okay? The collective are essentially being kind of nudged a little bit, okay? I wouldn't say that we're being, held at gunpoint or anything like that, but it's a case of, now is the time to start making decisions. Okay, now is not the time to sit on the fence, play it small, be quiet. No, you need to be very, very clear in exactly where you stand and what it is that you want for your future, because free will is very much at play. Okay, and that's something I wanted to discuss first of all, because I feel like there is a lot of misconceptions when it comes to that. We do have free will, okay, we do, but it's within a certain confines. For example, we can make choices every single day, right? But ultimately, those choices are going to reflect, the potential outcomes, right? So depending on our choices, there's going to be a specific outcome that we can expect. However, when it comes to what is predestined and fated, we don't have as much control over that as we like to think we do. We like to think we have a lot of control over that, but to be honest with you, we don't. The only thing that can affect that is the choice you make, whether or not to do something or not to do something. Okay, there are certain predetermining factors that are at play. So there is such a thing as free will, but there is always a choice, right? Your choice will reflect your outcome, right? And that's the thing. Considering where we're at now, it's really important to know that, because your free will is absolutely paramount. The choices that you make now is going to determine the course of several future events. Okay, there are timelines that are starting to split already again. Okay, this happens quite frequently. We're at another junction, right, where timelines are about to split. So definitive choices must be made at this time. You can choose to maintain and, continue on the current trajectory if you want. That is your choice and your right. Or you can choose an alternative. And by doing that, that means that you're essentially ready to forge ahead, okay, to be a part of what I would see as an acceleration program. Okay, so we're going to get into that in a minute. So your free will is absolutely paramount. Okay, you can choose how things now play out, but it's like I said, these are predetermined factors, but the choice you make will depend on, will determine which timeline you're on. Okay, so that's kind of what I want to first like sort of clear up. Okay, so that's the thing, you know, you have a destiny, but whether or not you fulfill that depends on the choice you make, right? So it can either become destiny or something that's fated, right? That is essentially the fracture that is taking place right now. So it is a very, very important time. And pertaining to that, right, is something else that I wanted to mention in relation to the December 2023 reading. And that is, in that reading, we discussed how there's a lot of endings taking place right now. There's a lot of things that are needing to be surrendered. There may be some situations that come up that are uncomfortable. There may be some things that surface from the past in order to be, you know, put to bed once and for all, right? There are going to be certain things that are brought to your attention that may frustrate you because it's seemingly outside of your control. And that's the point. You're not meant to control those factors. You're meant to basically sit with the information and decide what you want to do. Do you want to surrender that timeline and everything that comes with it? Or do you want to carry on that trajectory, right? That's essentially what it's about, because there's certain things, you know, you can make certain choices that's going to be beneficial, okay? And you can choose to remove yourself from certain things, but there's some things that are outside of your control, right? And that's something that I feel like a lot of people in the collective are struggling with right now, because they feel like the more they have it within their control, the more they're able to determine the outcome. But that's not the case. I can tell you that now. That is not the case. There are so many factors that you're not currently aware of. But I can tell you that depending on the choice you make, whether or not to release something that is outside of your control and to accept that and surrender it to your higher power, whatever you believe that benevolent force to be, then you're going to get a much better outcome than if you're trying to force a certain outcome, right? That isn't actually meant to happen, that isn't actually going to happen based on those variables, right? So that's kind of the energy. Just want to quickly see who's here. Good afternoon. Oh, hi, Beryl. Hi, Donna. Heathrow in the house. Wow, Heathrow. Okay, cool. So those are the kind of things that tap into the December 2023 reading. I want to say 2024, but 2023 reading, you know. So now we're essentially in that grace period, as I mentioned, where you have an opportunity to essentially make peace with the past and let it go, to surrender that timeline if you choose, right? If you want to surrender that, then I can tell you something significant is about to happen for you in a very big way, okay? And that is because for a long time, a lot of us have been asked to essentially find our own interpersonal connection with the divine, right? With our ancestors, with our guides, with the divine, with source, with God, with, you know, our benevolent spirit guides, the spirit team, right? As a collective, as a group, all encompassing, you know, ascended masters, whatever your belief is, right? It's different for different people, but those benevolent forces in the world, right? And for those who have really been hearing those messages and understand the role that they play in our lives, you know, I feel like a lot of people have been paying close attention to the signs, to the messages, have been sort of establishing that line of communication over a period of time, more and more and more, strengthening their connection with, you know, the benevolent forces in the universe, right? And that's exactly what we needed to do. That's what's enabling the shift to take place that we're witnessing right now. That's why we're already seeing like the death aspect of the cycle, right? We're at the point of no return when it comes to that. We're seeing destruction in a lot of things. We're seeing the fall of certain institutes, the fall of certain regimes, right? The fall of certain leaders and power figures and, you know, idols, right? We're seeing all of that because it's time. It's literally at a point, right, where it cannot continue as it is. And so I feel like because collectively we have shifted into a higher vibration of consciousness, we're understanding that the previous way of doing things doesn't serve the collective as a whole. It only serves a minority. We have essentially chosen a different path, a different timeline, right? So that portal is already open, right? That timeline that we essentially chose energetically is already open. So that's why we're now being given a grace period to wrap up what we need to wrap up and be ready to jump with both feet into that portal, right? Like I said, this is not the time for me, playing it small, dipping your toes in the water. No, you had the opportunity to do that. It's come up in various ways, right? With smaller cycles that are closed and, certain energies that are surfaced and resurfaced and new energy that's come up and, things of that nature. We've had an opportunity to dip our toes in the water, right? No more. It's not about doing that. Now it's about jumping in with both feet and determining, yeah, this is what I want. This is where I'm headed. These are the changes I'm implementing. I'm completely owning who I am as a sovereign being. I'm completely autonomous. I'm completely owning what it is that I have to offer. And I am making this choice with my whole heart, right? Once you do that, there is no going back, okay? Like I said, there's no time for dipping your toes in. So it's really important, especially over the next few weeks. Like I say, like you really sit with that information because I'm telling you, things are shifting quickly, okay? It's like happening at a rate that you can't really, I don't know, you can't really describe. It's just happening like this, you know? In quick time, all at like the present moment, right? Everything's just unfolding so rapidly. So it's a case of now is really the time, because for a long time, as we've seen in the collective, a lot of people have been dipping their toes in and then taking a step back, then dipping their toes in and taking a step back. And I understand it. I get it, because when you've been spoon fed a certain reality and certain possibilities, and you're told that this is your glass ceiling, this is the confines of what you can have or what you can experience or what you can establish, then it's hard to consider anything outside of that. But now we know that that's largely a lie, to be honest with you, right? And that the glass ceiling is literally your perception. So if you're ready to break through that, if you truly want to break through that, then the time is fast approaching. But it's a case of, again, you can't dip your toes in and out. You have to be willing to essentially completely let go of the old narratives, completely let go of past timelines, past events, right? If you want to have that new beginning, if you want to have that fresh slate, if you want to experience something far greater than what you've been believed to, even think that is possible, then there is a lot that needs to be released, right, in order to make room for what's to come. So that's pretty much like, the overarching energy there. But honestly, it's like the divine is saying, I've seen how dedicated you have been to this path. A lot of you, especially a lot of you that watch me, you're not people that generally kind of just, dip your toes in and then just, go back and act like everything is just, surface level. No, a lot of you guys are like really serious about your path. You're really serious about the healing journey. You're really serious about evolving, right? And doing what you can to essentially be the change that you want to see in the world. So it's a case of the divine knows who has been like dedicated to this path, right? And how you've literally had to go through those lessons, how you took them on bravely, how you've implemented those changes, how you took those spiritual tests on, how you took on the ridicule, you took on the backlash, you took on the backstabbing, you took on the fact that, in some cases, it's just you. It's literally just you. And no one else really understands your journey, but it's not for them to necessarily understand. Because if they're on that trajectory, then they'll get it, right? But if they're not, then maybe they're just not there yet, or maybe their journey is meant to be different from yours, right? But the fact that you didn't let it stop you from going where you're headed, yeah, the divine has been taking note of that. Trust me, they really have been. And now it's a case of, we see how you've been dedicated and devoted. We see how you've been true to yourself and your path, right? And your beliefs, right? And that you're constantly learning and evolving and expanding while staying true to your principles, your morals, to the type of life that you want to lead, the type of things that you want to align yourself to. But now, like, after being, in a period of listening, of learning, right? Being a student, because that's really important. Having beginner's mind is essential. Everyone needs to have that, right? So after a period of being, in that energy of a student and listening and learning and following the signs, following the guidance, essentially being grateful, showing gratitude, being devoted, basically showing appreciation, showing thanks, being humble, um, singing the praises of the Most High and, your guides and whoever you feel is like the benevolent force in your life. It's a case of they recognize all that you've done to show your devotion, right? And it's a case of we see you and you've been so disciplined, so dedicated. You've been on bending knee, right? You've been kneeling, but now it's time to stand. It's time to get off bending knee. Now it's time to actually stand because there is work to be done. I'm telling you. Now they're literally tapping people on the shoulder to say, rise, it's time to rise. We've got work to do. We're literally destroying these old foundations, like brick by brick. We are tearing down these corrupt institutes, right? Tearing down these like moguls and powerhouses, right? That are full of like corruption. We're tearing down the systems, right? That enable corruption, that enable things to be done to restrict the collective in such a way that it's almost like impossible to really truly realize your full potential, right? So all of that is coming down brick by brick. But now it's the case of you don't have to worry yourselves with, the crumbling and the destruction and the tower moments that are happening. That's happening regardless, okay? The divine is all over that. But what you now need to concern yourself with is, are you ready to become a pillar? Because new foundations are about to be built. And that's going to take teamwork. That's going to take, new communities coming together. It's going to take you guys to literally own fully who you are, what you have to offer. Because I'm telling you, a lot of you guys are sitting on things that the world needs, right? You have, some of you guys are excellent communicators. You'd be able to put things across far better than I even could, and you're not using your voice. Some of you guys are excellent writers, right? You could really make an impact with your written word, and you're not using that gift. Some of you guys are excellent when it comes to your artistic skills, right? Portraying things in such a powerful way through maybe imagery or art or something like that, but you're not doing it, right? Some of you guys are excellent problem solvers. You can come up with, insane inventions, right? Ideas that could solve so many problems. You're not using it though, right? You're not doing anything with it. And that's the point. It's not the time to sit and wait for saviors, okay? Too many people have been doing that for too long. The divine doesn't want you to sit and wait for a savior because you are meant to be a pillar, okay? And the more pillars that we have in different communities and spots around the world, that's how we can reinforce the new foundations that are going to be built. That's how we literally take the power back, right, into our own hands. So it's a case of, it's not about playing it so small. It's not about being afraid of being seen. It's not about being afraid of your power, your gifts, your abilities, your skills, your talents, okay? You have to fully embrace and own it because your voice is your own unique signature on the world. And you have no idea how that could literally leave a lasting impact. Even if it's in the smallest way, you still don't know what that can go on to do for somebody out there, for a group of people, or what that could inspire later on, right? And that's the point. I feel like the divine is really just wanting to hit that home, that now is your chance to decide, are you ready to truly become a pillar? Because it's not about, just one or two people being tapped to change the world, no, I know there's a lot of bullshit around that. I want to be the first one to say that that's a lie, okay? There are so many people out there that are meant to be a part of this change, this shift, that are meant to be a pillar in their community, right? So don't think like, oh, I don't have a platform, so I can't do it. Or, I'm not a psychic, so I can't do it. Or I'm not as seen as this. Like, I don't care about any of that. You probably have something that you've been sitting on for a long time, and you have no idea how it could change things. Like, it could even just be the spark that's needed in a specific situation, and boom, you've already fulfilled your purpose. You've changed something. So I don't want anyone to feel like there's nothing that they can't bring, like this, they have nothing to bring to the table. I know you guys do. I feel it, like I really pick up on that with some of you as well. Like, my gosh, if only you knew, right? You are meant to be a pillar. So now is the time to, like I say, really sit with everything that has transpired over this course of, the course of this year and beyond, what you've learned through these experiences, where you're at now, what you're feeling emotionally at this time, where your mindset is at, right? Where your mental is at, where you feel you're at spiritually, what feels right to you, what do you feel like, you need to surrender, or what you feel like you need to step into, right? Because obviously not everyone is is ready to make that leap, and I get that, but if you truly consider yourself to be a divine being or a chosen one, a starseed, or whatever you want to label it as, if you really see yourself as someone who's like pegged for leadership in some shape or role, in some shape or form, and that can take many different forms, by the way. But if you really believe that you own that title, now is the time to prove it. I'm just being honest. Now is the time to prove it. So honestly, as I mentioned in the December 2023 reading, you have to watch it if you haven't seen it. We're being given a grace period, right? To really just sit with everything, figure things out, just sort of declutter, okay? Determine like what needs to be released, what is actually beneficial to us at this time, what we need to accept, because it's like I said, there's certain things that are coming crashing down right now. There's endings happening individually. There's things that are ending collectively. I mean, there's huge events taking place right now on a global level. So it's really coming to a place of acceptance so that we can release what doesn't work, and we can start building on those solutions, building on those new foundations. Because like I said, there are so many people that I know will be like such an asset, people that don't want to just think about, well, I'm just going to get what I can for me and that's it. No, I know there's a lot of people who are thinking bigger, broader than that, right? That want to leave their little stamp, their little mark, even if it just touches a couple of people and it improves things, right? In that little way, right? It all makes a difference. So I know there's plenty of people that feel that way. And, those that do, I'm just here to remind you that there is a reason you feel that way. You've always felt like there was something you were supposed to do. And you may have not always known what that is, what shape or form that will take, how you need to like present that, how you can go about that, what you need for that, right? You may not know all those things even now. But if you've always felt like there's something you wanted to do that would create some kind of positive change or be part of something positive, right? That isn't just perpetuating something that is wrong, or you feel like doesn't benefit, the collective, or, some kind of injustice that you feel like really just like, it's just something about that in particular that really gets to you and you want to do something about it and you have ideas around that. That is for a reason, because you are geared for it, literally geared for it. Even if you don't know like all the information you need, or you don't have all of the academic skills or qualifications, trust me, you'll be surprised. There is a way, and sometimes you don't even need that at all. Like, you'll be shocked, like some of the things that people have gone on to do without having the necessary qualifications. Yeah, but there is a reason that factor, that thing, whatever it is, has been there for so long, right? Almost like nagging in the background. Like, even if you try to ignore it and do other things, it's always there. And that's because it's part of your calling. It's something you are literally designed for. You're geared for it, You are literally perfect to tackle whatever that is. So, but that's literally what I'm getting, like very strongly. They've been like hitting these things home to me very strongly, like recently. So I'm just going to get drinks. I'm a little bit dehydrated. Yeah, but he needs money to make the move now. You'll be surprised how things can happen, trust me. When you least expect it, you'll be surprised how things can happen. Hey, hot mess. I hear you. Yeah, I'm telling you, like it's no joke, you know. And it's funny because the way the messages came through to me earlier was so potent. I was like, wow, and it was so clear. But then trying to communicate that later on, I'm like, yeah, my words are not coming together exactly how I want them to. But you get what I'm saying, right? So that's the thing. It's like, you know, at this time, it's not a case of, like I said, you know, just perpetuating things that are not beneficial, that we know to be not like beneficial for us, right? Now is the time to be forward thinking, forward planning, right? That age of Aquarius energy is so strong right now. It's not even funny. Like we're literally living it. We are seeing it. We are seeing that shift, right? And how like it's literally changing society at large, you know, on a global level. So it's really time to think on that level, you know. As you know, Aquarius is all about progression, forward movement. It's a humanitarian sign, right? It's all about seeing the bigger picture, right? And that's exactly the energy that we, a lot of us are, you know, being called to be in, right? Yes, the details matter also. Of course they do, right? The little things count. But we also have to be able to, you know, pan out of our situations, right? And look at things from a more objective viewpoint, right? Because that helps to keep things in perspective as well, right? Because even the things that have been jarring, challenging, not so pleasant, not fun, even brutal in cases, that's all served a purpose in the end, even though it's horrific to possibly go through these things at the time. When you're able to pan out and look at the things on a bigger picture, you can see how literally all of these things have prepared you for what's to come, right? So even if you go through something, like I'll give you a really stupid example. I actually went to a concert 2 days ago and I had a great time. You know, I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. And you know, I remember, you know, people were jumping around, having a good time, dancing, singing, you know, like headbanging, all the rest of it. And I remember there was someone that was crowd surfing and they were being brought forward. And something just told me, look to your right. You know, I didn't know this person was coming, didn't hear anything. I just looked to my right and I saw this person's like boot coming like over the top. And I moved obviously instinctively because I felt it, you know. And I was like, okay, I made sure that I was constantly aware of my surroundings. So I didn't get kicked in the head because there was an event I went to years ago where a photographer was crowd surfing. I didn't see him coming. And he actually kicked the back of my head and my head hit an amp, you know. So I actually was concussed. I was okay. Obviously, I was fine. But you know, at the time that sucked and it was really painful. So something small like that, that's just a really small example, but that's like a recent one as well. You know, just from having that painful experience, you know, when I was at an event, it made me more aware and cautious. So, you know, because instinctively felt like, okay, I need to turn around. I turn around and I could see this person coming. So instead of just standing there, I was able to ensure that I was nowhere near where his feet were, you know. So that's just a little example. So, you know, the things you go through, yeah, it can suck at the time when it happens, but it can prepare you so you can avoid certain things later on as well. So, and that's why I feel like where we're at, you know, a lot of our life experiences have been gearing us up for what's about to come because it's not going to be easy by any means. You know, if we hadn't gone through any challenges or, you know, difficult situations, even painful situations, how are we even going to be equipped to deal with rebuilding our society, rebuilding, civilization. That's the reality. If we're going to be completely honest, that's reality. Reshaping civilization as we know it. We wouldn't even know where to begin, right? Without having those situations where we're tested, where we're forced to learn, think on our feet, problem solve, right? Find solutions, research, look at other people's examples, look at how other people have overcome those things, right? People sharing their testimony, people sharing ideas, coming together to come up with like group think tanks, right, for problem solving and things like that, right? All of that is important, so that's the point I'm making. This is what is essentially preparing us for these changes, and to essentially ensure that we are equipped with what we need so we can do what needs to be done. So that's where we're at collectively. I mean, it's a huge undertaking. I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh, it'll be a walk in the park. Of course not. But we need to start by laying those foundations, And of course, the generations, after us will build upon that. But we have to set the precedent. We have to set the example. We have to be the example, right? Otherwise, how can we expect anything to change if we are not leading by example, right? So if we want to call ourselves leaders, we have to show that, we have to demonstrate that, we have to show up as such, right? So that's kind of like what's coming through really strong right now. So I just want to quickly read your comments. Love from Virginia Beach, USA. Oh, amazing. Yes, I'm ready to save people from the divine. It's not even about saving people, because people are going to make their choices regardless. All you can do is support, guide, and be an example. You can't save anyone. You can help, you can support, you can heal, but you can't save people. If you get into the idea that I have to be a savior, then that can set you up for all sorts of like insanity and really nasty and karmic situations. So I personally wouldn't go with the mindset of I'm ready to save people, but I would be more of the mindset that, I'm ready to support, I'm ready to heal, I'm ready to guide, whatever the case may be. But that's just my personal take. Because trust me, I've been there. And trying to save people, I can tell you from what I've experienced, what I've witnessed as well, and also just generally from events that I have researched and seen. And like I said, I mean, a lot of you, some of you know, some of you don't. I have a psychology background as well, so I can tell you from that perspective as well, that coming with the mindset that you can fix someone or save someone, it usually doesn't work. What you can do is you can guide, you can support, you can nurture, you can heal, but the person has to meet you on that level, right? They have to be willing to help themselves as well, right? So you can only meet people where, as far as they're willing to meet you. That's the reality. Learning to see things from the 5D and not the 3D. Absolutely. And I feel like that's a really good point, Hot Mess, because I feel like we all are, right? Even those of us who are constantly tapping into different timelines and frequencies and planes, right? We're still having to reprogram our thought process and our perception, right? Because at the end of the day, we live in a 3D planet, 3D plane, that's the reality we live in. But those energies are present, those frequencies exist, those planes are there, those dimensions are still all around us, right? So it's not even about like, oh, like we have to go so far and do all this work to get there. It's a case of like, we just need to realize that it's there. It's right there. It's with us. It's around us. It's in us. Like, it's right there. It's just, we can't get blinded constantly by the trappings of the 3D paradigm, But that's something we're constantly having to remind ourselves and, sort of, work towards, I guess. But again, at the same point, we do have to navigate the 3D plane as well, because that's literally our habitat. So yeah. So it's the tightrope, it really is. especially when you're also having to encounter people that are very much, still trapped on that frequency, that haven't gone beyond that yet, that may have started to tap into 4D frequencies, right? 4D energy, 4D planes. And you can see that they're going through certain struggles, and they're kind of being forced to confront themselves. Yeah, but when you can see that someone has really not gone anywhere near beyond that, it's not easy either, because there's certain things that you can't explain. They have to be experienced. And if you haven't experienced anything like that, then you're not going to understand it. So it is not easy, but we do what we can at the end of the day. And the people that have experienced it, they'll get it. So that's the thing. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Great example. Thank you. Yeah, that was just like one of the first ones I could think of. Because yeah, that was like one of the most recent things. It was literally a couple of days ago. So, it was just something small like that, even just a little example like that. But you can apply that analogy to so many different things, right? And it remains the same. So, those experiences really do shape us, right? And it can absolutely prepare us. I mean, wow, if I hadn't experienced the things I had experienced, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I'd navigate life these days. I mean, it's crazy, right? So I'm grateful for it all. It's taught me a great deal. Yeah, very true. Well, this is it. So that's kind of the energy that's been coming through. But honestly, I just feel like I mean, like I say, I feel it. Like I talk to you guys, and I know like a lot of you have so much potential. It's not even funny. Like you don't even know it yet. And that's the point, because you're in a environment, regardless of where you are. And obviously some places it's way more restrictive than others, depending on where you are. But there is mass suppression going on, and has been going on for the longest time, right? And that's being done in numerous ways. So I feel like we haven't even come close to truly realizing our potential, but knowing that there's going to be an opportunity to really start exploring that more. And that's already like at play now, like you can already do things that will help you with that right now. But in terms of like environmental factors, in terms of the general frequency of the planet, the frequency of the grid around it, the frequency of us as a collective, right? All of that is shifting. So it is enabling like way more powerful energies to actually penetrate the earth, and to actually radiate through, right? Cut through a lot of the noise, cut through a lot of the pollution, right? So we can actually access those streams, right? These are streams not only that can help you with healing, that can help you with expanding your mind, but it can also help you like, completely reset, your nervous system, reset, your DNA in a lot of ways. Like it's so crazy, right? What can be done in terms of frequencies, and being able to tap into those energies that are coming through. It's actually quite insane. But the fact that there have been actors purposefully used to suppress these things, used to lower the frequency, used to implement certain things in medicine and foods and water supplies, and polluting the air and everything of that nature, to stop us being able to do that. It's absolutely heinous. But the fact is, there is an opportunity for you to essentially get a bit of a reset, because like I said, I feel like, with everything that's happening and the shift that's happening, even say with the poles and everything, that is actually breaking up a lot of that energy. It's breaking up a lot of those transmissions, those frequencies, right? So there are more ascendant frequencies that are able to penetrate through, right? And it's interesting how like scientists are even getting like more and more of these signals, transmissions from further afield that they can't account for. They don't know what it is. They think it's from a certain star system, from a certain planet maybe, right? But they don't know what it is. But they're starting to receive more and more of these transmissions. But the thing is, a lot of these transmissions have been trying to come through for the longest time, but they've been intentionally blocked out. They've been intentionally not reported on, right? But those transmissions are fundamental. Some of them for good, some for ill. But that's what I'm saying. You know, when people say, but why isn't the divine been doing this and doing that? Trust me, they've been doing a lot. They just want to keep you in the dark about it. You know, they just don't want you to be aware that these doorways, these portals, these changes, they're already here, right? The door is open, essentially. It's just a case of we need to be aware of that. And it's like, if we want to be able to have access to certain pathways, certain doorways, certain portals, certain planes, certain frequencies, we need to make sure that we're able to handle that, right? So if you haven't done the work, if you're not of high enough vibration, if you're not matching what it is that you're trying to be in terms of an environment, then it's going to crush you. Like, imagine, like, for example, an alien just coming down here, right, with no gear or anything. Depending on the atmosphere and the environmental factors that's at play on their planet, they may come here, and as soon as they like step out of their spaceship, they'd be instantly crushed by the weight of the gravity, right? You know, it's like, it may be completely different. And that's what I mean. Just that, you know, you need to be acclimatized to the energy, right? That is connected to the energy of what it is that you want to attract, what it is that you're stepping into. So if you want to enter a specific timeline, if you want to be able to, you know, really tap into your potential, what changes are you making now to make room for that, and also so that you can actually realize your highest potential, right? Because if you're not making any changes and you're doing the exact same things, it's hard to expect there to be any change. Whereas, you know, if you're accepting and you're ready and you're open and you're ensuring that, you know, you're sort of subtracting the things that take away from what resonates with that, then you're in a better position to be able to step into that energy, to step into that timeline, to receive those things, to shape your reality in that way, right? So all of the possibilities are there and the doors are open, but your choices will reflect whether or not you experience it. Hopefully that makes sense, right? That's basically what I'm getting. I try to make it as clear and simple as I can, but, you know, it's not always easy to do that. I don't always find the words, but I think you get where I'm coming from, so. But the fact is like I said, it's already there. It's just a case of, you know, are you ready? Are you ready to take that leap? You know, it's definitely full energy. If we talk about it from, you know, the tarot perspective, it's full energy, you know. The Four is not scared. The Four is not concerned. They have absolute faith that they're going to land with both feet, right? That the universe is going to catch them and that they have everything they need. They may not have a lot. They may not even need a lot, but they have everything they need to land exactly where they want to land. And they just take that leap of faith. So that's kind of what we're being asked to step into. You know, if we're truly ready for this change, if we truly want to embody that change, you know. And it does mean that we're going to have to leave certain things behind. That's just the reality of it. So, yeah, that is essentially the main theme, right? That's the main energies that's been coming through really strongly at this time. It's essentially about walking the walk. A lot of people have been talking the talk, but now we need to walk the walk, right? It's not a time to play it small. It's not a time to sit on the fence. It's not a time to just talking about these things. This needs to be action now, right? So now's the time to think about, what can I do now to start putting certain things into action, putting things into place, start making room for those changes. With some things, it's literally, in some instances, it's just about literally making the room, right? And ensuring that you're essentially prepared for what's to come, you know? But I tell you that the powers that be, those who really benefited from, you know, the plane being in the state that it's in or has been in, yeah, this has been their worst nightmare. They feared the day that this would come, right? But it's happening. So it's time, you know. And I mentioned this in another reading. I can't remember what reading it was, but I've been saying for months, as those of you who've been following me for a while know, I've been saying for months that a lot of these false leaders and idols and stuff, they're falling, I'm telling you, and it's happening in a big way. And they're shook, they're scared, because they know their foothold is over, it's done. You know, this is like a tower moment of mass, you know. So you really don't even have to concern yourself with that. Now it's just a case of, okay, it's happening, it's unfolding. Let's focus on where we're headed. That's where we need to look now, you know. And yeah, of course, you know, with the collective messages, if I get a message or a heads up about a situation that's surfacing or resurfacing or anything you need to know, of course I'm going to share it, you know, because you need to be aware of it for a reason. So you're informed ahead of time and you can make your own choice, right? But just generally speaking, now is the time to think about, like I say, you know, that age of Aquarius energy. Think about, where are we taking, you know, where are we taking things as a species, as a civilization? What do we want our legacy to be? What do we want this planet to look like? What do we want life to consist of, right? What kind of foundations do we want? You know, these are the things that we need to ask ourselves, you know. And once you have an idea of what that is, then it's time to take those steps, right? And I don't believe that, you know, generally speaking, we're supposed to do it alone. I don't think that's the point. There's certain things you may be able to do alone or you're supposed to do alone. But, you know, even if you have a specific task, everyone has their task and you can work together to establish something, right? So that's kind of the energy, you know. So it's definitely time. That's what I feel like. And that's why I say, you know, these next few weeks especially, that's your grace period. Okay, so use it wisely, you know, get your rest, take care of yourself, declutter your home, declutter your mind, okay? Do the cleanup. Don't wait for spring, you know, to do spring cleaning. Do that cleaning now, to just, you know, do away with what's no longer serving. And, you know, you don't even have to be harsh about it. It's just, you know, sort of appreciating what it's taught you or where it's brought you to this point, and just surrendering it, you know, letting it go. And just being aware, like, okay, now it's time for the next thing. Now it's time to get serious about these changes, you know. So, yeah. And I know it's not easy, depending on you know, the roles that you play, because obviously it's different for different people. But yeah, you know, certain roles are not easy, you know, it's heavy, you know, it can be quite heavy, but you're equipped, you can handle it, okay? That's why you've been geared for that. So even if it feels like a mammoth undertaking or a mammoth task ahead of you, you can do it, okay? And you're going to have support and you're going to have guidance. It's not that the divine's going to kick you through the door and just be like, well, all the best, you know, and just leave you to it. No, you will get support, you will get guidance still, you know, but they just need to see how serious we are about the changes we want to make, you know, and if we're truly ready to let go of our former lives. That there's no other way to really put it, you know, because like I say, the concept of what we perceive to be, you know, society, civilization, that's all changing, you know, and that's why it is really messy right now, because, you know, like if you look at history, with the rise and fall of any civilization, it's always a mess. You'll have like 2,000 years where everything follows a certain sort of plan, a certain blueprint. And then you'll have at the end of that era, there's like 500 years of absolute chaos. And that's what we've been in, okay? We've literally been in that period of absolute chaos. And that's why we're seeing a lot of things collapse, right? Over and over and over, you know, and they try and fix it, they try and patch it, it falls apart again because it's not supposed to be patched over, right? But so the reality is, in our lifetime, in this, you know, current incarnation, we're not going to see the new be completely established. It's impossible. This is hundreds of years in the making, but we can literally start the process, right? And that's what, you know, our generations have been tasked with, to do that, right? We've already started that work. By look at the shift in consciousness, right? Look at the shift in mindsets. Look at how people's views on things has evolved, right? So that's the thing, you know, it's a case of we are starting those early foundations. So we need to make sure we set a good precedent so future generations just don't end up imploding, right? That's pretty much it. So I don't know, you know, and especially those of us who, like, you know, have been here more than once, you know, several times over. It's a case of, okay, let's just do a good job so we don't have to come back again, okay? You know, let's just do it right, you know, so we don't have to keep like trying again and patching it or whatever, you know. Let's just do it right the first time, you know. That's kind of the energy I feel. But that's my perspective anyway. Obviously, you don't agree to that, but you know, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired. On a soul level, I am tired. I don't want to keep coming back anymore. You know, I've been learning my lessons, paying my dues, you know, and you know, like I say, I'm trying to fulfill my purpose in various capacities. So, you know, because that's what I'm here for at the end of the day, as is the case for most of you guys as well, you know. So yeah, I'm not about to come here and repeat everything again. No, definitely not. So that's where I'm at with it. But yeah, that's generally it. I mean, wow, I've been talking for a while now. But yeah, those were the main energies of that. I am going to do a collective reading as well. But wow, the way some of these messages were coming through, it was just nuts. But then, of course, you think, right, I need to say that. And then you come, you know, fast forward a day or two, you come on live and you're like, gosh, that's not how I want to say it, you know? Like, it was so perfect the way I hear it. And then you want to say it, and then it's just never the same. But you got the gist anyway. You got what's important from it. So that's the main thing, you know? But it was just really intense the way these messages came through. Like, you know, you've been obedient, you've been disciplined, you've been following the signs, right? You've been clearing your karma, you've been passing the tests, going through the initiations, all of that stuff. Now it's a case of it's your time to rise. It's your time to take a stand. It's your time to become that pillar. It's your time to actually lead. It is now. So over the next few weeks, do what you need to do to, you know, close shop pretty much and prepare yourself, because it's time, you know. So, whew, the divine is not playing, I can tell you now. That's why they need to know, like, are you guys ready, you know? Because I'm telling you, some of you are going to replace people that are in quite high positions, right? And it may even seem like it's coming out of left field, and it's like, you know, so you need to be mentally, emotionally, spiritually prepared, because, you know, you can't play it small, collective. I'm telling you, you've been doing that a long time, and I understand why. I've been there myself. Trust me, I know. So this is no judgment on you. I'm including myself, you know, but not anymore. Okay, we've got too much work to do. So yeah, just a little pep talk as well, you know. Oh, hot mess, thank you so much. That's really sweet. Oh, sugar. I didn't even see your messages because I didn't scroll down. Hang on. You are articulating this well, very helpful. Oh, thank you so much. I'm trying my best because I swear, whenever I'm on camera, especially live, my brain just goes, nah. And I'm like, oh gosh, what did I want to say? You know, it's like, it's right there. I know what I want to say, but where's the words, you know? So yeah. Jazz's light codes. Yes, light codes are a big part of it. Thank you. That's the word I wanted to use, light codes. That's exactly it. See, you guys know what I'm talking about, even when I'm struggling to articulate certain things. But thank you. I'm glad that you're finding it useful and that I'm articulating it at a good standard. That's all I can hope for, you know. But yes, light codes. That's exactly what I was talking about. Those light codes already exist. Look at this, right? I am not even into the reading yet. And look what just flipped out, like confirmation. Look at this little cat here, right? The portal keeper. I feel like that's my cat, but yeah, the portal keeper. And then we have freedom. So everything we just said, it's like the divine is saying, listen, calm your face. It's okay. This is literally what we're talking about in a nutshell. You're welcome. You know, it's literally that. Oh, funny. Anyway, Spirit keeps telling me you already have it. It's hard to understand in my 3D, but I'm choosing to trust. That's it. That's literally what it comes down to. Just trusting. It's already there. Like your guides are telling you, it's true. It's already there. The door is already open. The energy is already available to you. You already have what you need within you. I promise you, you do. Whatever external that you feel like you're gonna need, the divine makes a way. You'll be shocked, I'm telling you, right? If you stay true to the path, you trust, okay, and you follow those signs, and you go by what your heart is telling you, you listen to your intuition, you'll be shocked, I'm telling you. Do you believe in God, the creator, Christ consciousness? I do. I believe that there is universal force, okay? I call it source. I prefer the term source because God has so many connotations. I do use it just because I try and use terminology that people are familiar with most. So it's easier to understand me because I have people watching from so many different locations, and not everyone, not everyone has English as their first language, and not everyone is used to the English accent, especially my accent, which is a bit mixed up anyway. So I try and use terms that is going to be like the most accessible to the most people. But yeah, like I definitely believe that there is higher powers at play for sure. Like I've witnessed it, like it's not even a question at this point. And there's a lot to it when it comes to that. So but in terms of the collective consciousness, Christ consciousness, how you want to put it, absolutely, that's something that's like intrinsic to our nature. Like it's like a fundamental building block to who we are, what we are, right? It's a gift for sure, that is our direct line to source, the universe, and all living things, right? So yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it, just on a basic level. It's about enlightenment. Exactly, right? Exactly. That's the whole point, It's like if you're on that path, right, then it's all about furthering one's understanding, also supporting the evolution of the species, okay, on a basic, very basic level. Yeah, there's that too. Helping the collective consciousness to evolve, right? Helping us to expand so that we can become the most high vibrational, the most evolved, versions of ourselves, essentially. From like, say, like the Buddhist viewpoint, or say like even Hinduism, or from those sort of schools of thought, being able to reach that level of enlightenment, that level of awareness, like conscious awareness, right? And being able to be in true harmony with all things, the universe, with the creator, with the divine, with oneself, with all that is, right? to the highest degree. That's the ultimate goal, you know. But that opens another conversation, to be honest with you, because that's something that's very fundamental for me. That's something that, I feel like this whole journey for me has been about, and why I had to go through a lot of different experiences in order to be in that position where I could have that understanding, not just to be able to guide and teach and support, but also for my own evolution. But the problem with that, the only issue with that is how far do you want to take it is up to you, because, what I've experienced is that to the extent that I want to go like to the top, it would mean that I would have to sacrifice, my interpersonal relationships. I would literally have to be in true full hermit energy on a mountain somewhere by myself, for the rest of my life. And that's another thing that, people are going to have to ask themselves, is that something you want to sacrifice, that connection? And you don't have to. That's the thing. It just depends on, like I said, what your goal is, So, but that's the thing. If you want to essentially reach like the most enlightened state possible, and to be operating on that level, then yeah, that's pretty much what it would take. So, but again, it depends on your purpose as well, because I don't feel like that's necessary for everybody anyway. So, yeah. Oh God, I don't want to have to come back again. Yeah, me neither. No, I'm tired. I'm telling you, girl, I'm tired. I'm so tired. I was born tired, I was born over it, but, excited but over it at the same time. Like, no, I'm not coming back. I'm sorry. Like, if I don't have to, I'm not coming back. I already told the divineness I'm tired. Put me somewhere else if I really have to incarnate again. But yeah, I've graduated at school for real by the grace of God and His glory. It's coming through beautifully. Confirmation, yes. Cool. So yeah, like I couldn't believe those cards that fell out though. Oh, I just split the deck as well. Look, alignment. That's it. We are in true alignment. And that's why the door is open. And we were talking about codes. And this is something else I wanted to mention, the keys. Crystal keys. Keys accessible. They're within reach. It's in the palm of your hand. The portal is open to the crystal plane, which is an extremely high level of consciousness. So that just shows how much work a lot of people have been doing, right? Those who have really been on this path, right? Yeah. Because, crystal level consciousness is big. It's huge, right? That's literally where, you start to completely change reality. So I'm telling you, the energy is already there. It's no joke. Oh, and look, we have furred and feathered friends. What I was saying about connecting with the earth and other species and life as a whole. Yeah. And that's the point, It's our job to reestablish and redefine our connection with nature and with all inhabitants of the earth, right? It's time to reestablish that connection, and also, like I say, renegotiate our position, our role, right? Because we're meant to be like caretakers of this planet, and we've been doing the opposite, unfortunately. But, the more we come into alignment, the more we understand our true nature, okay, through doing this healing work, okay, working through those different pain points, right? Dealing with those blockages, dealing with those traumas, dealing with those fears, those doubts, those concerns, the worries. By clearing all of that energy and allowing, like I say, the energy to permeate through from the highest planes all the way down, right? From the highest plane down into our base reality through us as conduits, right? then that's when we can radiate that energy outwards. That's when we can literally like recharge our own auras, our own energetic fields, right? And that which comes in contact with that will be affected by that frequency as well. So it all starts within, it all starts with us at the end of the day. You know, that's why it's really key and really important to frequently, you know, take a close look at what's going on with your energy centers, what's going on with your chakra points, right? Especially the main ones, like the main 7 energy centers. There's a lot more. There's actually hundreds, to be honest with you, but those are the main ones, right? They're like what I would call like energy hubs, okay? So those are like the most key points that you really want to look at, and where you feel like there may be some kind of blockage or some kind of you know, dysfunction, or something is just, the energy is not flowing as it should be, right? That's where you need to be looking, because there is a reason why that's happening, right? Whether that's something that needs to be understood, released, worked through, healed, whether it's, you know, because of some outward stimuli that's affecting it, you know, through people or situations or whatever, you know. These are things that are really important, because you want to try and maintain like this clear flow of energy as much as possible, right? Allowing the energy to flow through from the crown to the root and down into the earth, right? Keep the circuit going, essentially, right? And that's how you also start to you know, shape and shift your reality around you, right? Change the vibration of your environment as well. So I feel like a lot of people are kind of stepping into this energy right now in the collective. The ones that are, like I say, that are really have been tapped in and doing the work, right? The true collective, right? Not the people who've just been like, you know, ignoring it, but actually been doing the work. Yeah. So you see these cards that have been coming up, insane, to be honest with you. Like, it's so potent. So it's time. Wow. Anything else before I go to the tarot? Yeah. Look at this. This is gorgeous. Starseed Elemental, right? And gracious receptivity. There we go. I always stumble over certain words. Yeah. But that's it. This is it. I love how the cards are just like, just very simply confirming everything we've discussed. It's like, because you've been in this like really humble, sweet, grateful, accepting energy, you know, very receptive, very like, sort of, I don't know how to explain, but it is that, you know, very gracious, very humble, very grateful, very appreciative, you know, being in that energy and just receiving the messages with love, receiving the signs with appreciation, right? It's really enabled you to not only ascend, not only grow, not only to increase in terms of your spiritual rank and things of that nature, but it's like, it's really put you in a primed position to realize your potential in a very profound way, right? And that's the point. I feel like this is representing, you know, what you really are, like what you really have at your core, right? This is that inner fire, right? That which you're really made of, the spirit, the soul, right? And all shapes and forms that it comes in, like in terms of the different facets of self and all of the beautiful and wonderful traits that make you you on a core level, right? All the little things that make you different from someone else. Yeah, like it's sort of like a little unique identifiable factors, right? Your own little blueprint, your little stamp on the world, right? I feel like that's what this is representing. I love this energy so much. I really do. Because you see how they got little wings as well? Yeah. I feel like this is you, you know. I'm not saying this is how you show up, but it's just the energy, you know. That your wings are there, even if you can't see it. And like all of these different facets, you know, that make you this interesting and you know, wonderful person. I feel like that's just being depicted here. So I love that, you know. Wow, it's so cool. I really love this deck. It's so beautiful. And it's so simple as well. Like, I could have probably just condensed a lot of what I said, just pulling some of these cards, honestly. Like, it's just great. But that's the thing, you know. Sometimes we need to be reminded of who and what we really are. And that's like a big part of why I even have this channel. Not only to bring what is in the dark to light, which is a big part of it, but also to remind people of their light, right? Remind people of who they are on a core level, especially when they're lost, you know. That's why I don't, you know, like there's certain people or certain situations or energies I see people in, and people are like maybe sometimes confused by my stance, but it's because I can literally see things pertaining to that person's energy that others may not. And it's a case of like, you know, some people can surprise you. You can be surprised how a person can change or what good they can go on to do, right? And my point, you know, the whole purpose of me being here as a guide, right, as a lighthouse, is to help guide people out of the dark, you know, those who are lost, but not those who are choosing, obviously, to self-destruct or to be a chaos agent, obviously. But, you know, some people just need a little extra guidance, a little extra nudge, you know, a little extra support. And yeah. And of course, you know, like, support those who are on the path, obviously, you know. But yeah. But it's just really nice to see that more and more people are realizing that, you know, that is who they are on a soul level. Like, there's so much more to them than this world would have them believe, you know. And if I could get that message alone to people, then I already feel like I've done my job. Because that's been like something that's been really close to my heart, like since I was born, you know, just wanting to touch people on a heart level, you know, and remind them like, hey, you know, you have this too, you know, you have a heart chakra, you're there. I see you, I feel you, you know, it's okay. Yeah. So, and that's the thing, like, I know you guys feel it and you see it too. And honestly, that's why I love talking to you as well, because I am really appreciative of every single one of you, honestly. Like, connecting with you guys and, you know, just seeing that, you know, the messages are being received, like you get it. And like, you know, like I said, there's sometimes where I can't even think of the words that I want to say, and you'll say it and I'm like, yes, thank you. Like, I know you're exactly on it because you're able to communicate what I want to say, right? So I love that. I love your input. I love the support you show me as well when you do little things like that, you know. I don't get offended. That actually is really helpful for me, you know. So I really appreciate that. But yeah, you're just awesome. I love you guys, honestly. I really do. Like, I feel very blessed to have connected with a lot of you, you know. So love and light. And to you, Jazzes, thank you for guiding me. Yes, support. No, you're very welcome. It's an honor. It really is, you know. I don't take it for granted at all. Like, I love my community. And I know, like, yeah, this is just the beginning, honestly. It really is. So I'm excited. I'm excited for what's coming, you know. I think there's a lot that can be achieved. So anyway, let's see. I better pull some cards before someone else screams at me that I'm shuffling for too long and nothing's coming out. Like, it's so funny that I've had a couple of comments like that now, where I've had someone like, oh my gosh, you've pulled like 2 cards and you've been shuffling for ages. And it's like, well, this is not a channel where I just pull random cards, you know. I give you the cards that I'm given, you know. So if it's not coming, it's not coming. I don't know what to tell you, you know. They're not random. I can tell you that now. And I don't select them. So if it's not coming out, it's not coming out. But when I get the card that we need, it'll come out. What did I say? You know? Yes, we have the Page of Swords in reverse. The Devil. Tell me more. The Lovers. Yeah, opposing forces, opposing energies. Huh. The thing is, there are people who are hyper fixated on the things that make you you, the dark aspects of self, the lighter aspects of self. Why people have a fascination with your energy, bordering obsession or even obsession in some cases. Why other people show you support in the way they do, or why people put you on a pedestal in the way that they do. And you may be even thinking, like, who puts me on a pedestal? Trust me, just because they haven't told you to your face doesn't mean they don't, okay? But it's like, because of who you are, some people just don't really understand, you know, why you get certain reactions from certain people. That's what I'm seeing here, you know. And especially the more you become embodied, the more you become like empowered, like you really just claim who you are, all that makes you you. Yeah, you're going to see more of that, you know, especially as people, like I say, that are choosing to remain in those cycles, remain on the same trajectory, the same timeline. Then they're not going to understand it at all, right? They're going to have a very hard time understanding you and your mindset, right? So that's just something to be aware of, because I feel like there is going to be a period, a brief period, where that you may see an increase in jealous behavior, okay? But you're also going to see an increase in support as well. So you know, it's you know how it is. You take the rough with the smooth. You get things on both sides. It's never just, you know, one or the other. You usually both come simultaneously. So it's that, you know. But that's the thing. People that don't understand where you're headed, they're gonna want to stop you. And the people that are on your trajectory, they're gonna want to, like, you know, it's like they're gonna want to like move forward with you, right? So you're gonna see that very strongly. Yeah, we have the Queen of Wands in reverse. Ugh. There's that jealous energy I was talking about. The Fool. But that's where you're gonna be. What did I say about the Fool energy? Yeah. And that's the thing, you know. Some of you have infernal energies that are watching you like a hawk, because they know you're about to take this leap. And that's the last thing they wanted you to do. They've been doing literally everything to put you in a state where you'll be too afraid, right? To doubt, to not want to take that leap. But the fact that they know that you're in the full energy and you're like in that energy of trust and willing to take that leap, yeah, they don't like it. So that's why they're using some of these energies that are, you know, that are basically stuck, to try and keep you stuck. But it's not going to work. That's what you need to know when it comes to that. It's already going to be a failed attempt, right? It's nothing you have to concern yourself with too much. It's just you're going to see it, okay? It's going to become very apparent with people's actions and their words that they don't want you to move forward. They don't want you to progress. They don't want you to evolve. They don't want you to take this leap, right? But there's going to be others that are going to be rooting for that, that want to, like, that are also on that trajectory, and that are going to give you that nudge to go for it, right? So, yeah. Yeah. That's the thing as well. With the Five of Pentacles, I feel like this is a case of possibilities again with the Lovers, right? Possibilities, options, choices. Your choices dictate the outcomes, right? And there's going to be people that see you move forward in this direction. They're going to realize just what they have lost out on, right? Because like I said, for some of you, right, you're not only a pillar, you are literally an example. So seeing how your choices and you following the path, you staying true to your path, right? And the guidance that you've received from your guides, and how that's going to really benefit your life. There's going to be people from your past that didn't take that leap of faith with you, that didn't take that that didn't take that step with you, that are going to realize that they're now on the outside looking in, and how different their life could have looked had they had the courage and the belief to take that leap of faith. Yeah. These are people that won't have access, essentially. Yeah. Tell me more. Wow, King of Wands. It's literally going to just be split down the middle. It's just literally going to be a case of those who take action, those who act, and act with the right intentions, taking like the necessary steps, those who truly embody the energy and tap into their potential, embody the energy of a leader. They will be, I'm telling you, you will rise to the occasion. You'll be put in that position in some shape or form, because you chose that path, you chose that timeline, you jumped through the portal keeper, right? You jumped through the portal. But because you've done that, and there's other people that were too afraid to do that, they want to continue, on the same trajectory, they're going to be bitter when they realize that that door becomes closed to them, right? Yeah. And they're going to be stuck in the same frequency, basically living their life along the same timeline and watching the towers fall. That's the thing. It will get really ugly for a while, because when people who are too afraid to make those changes realize that the reality and the timeline that they essentially, that they, what's the word I'm looking for? They settled for is falling apart. It's crashing at the seams. They're going to get desperate then. They're going to be desperate to like ride your coattail. They're going to be desperate to ride your wave. They're going to be desperate to, avoid essentially being on the outside looking in. Yeah. But everyone has their choice. Like I said, that's why you guys are being given the information ahead of time, so you can be prepared, right? And I don't feel like these people are not going to see the signs or anything. They're just not going to care, essentially, because these are not people that are doing the work. These are people that, that are exploiting things as they currently are, rather than paving a better way, right? So that's what I'm kind of getting. Yeah, so just be mindful of people that try and come in with very slimy and sneaky tactics. Page of Cups and the Seven of Swords. Because like I said, when some people realize they're on the outskirts looking in, it's like they're going to want to like, get an invite to the party, that sort of thing, right? So they're going to try and do it in a deceptive way, in a very slimy way. Like suddenly pretend that they're for you, that they suddenly see your vision, that they suddenly understand, and that, they're making changes. But no, it's just because like, it's like, imagine, like, it's literally, I'm getting like, oh my gosh, I hate this energy. Clout chasers, right? Say you've got like the in club and all the celebrities there, and these people are the kind of people they'll go out their way to try and make sure they're there and that they're seen with the right people to try and work their way up, right? And then when suddenly all of that goes to shit, like the club goes out of business, those celebrities are, not famous anymore, or even get in trouble for certain things, right? And they see like the person that was essentially like, I don't know, doing things the honorable way, not being around people just to get like, some kind of, clout or whatever, but have actually focused on something that, they enjoy or that they care about, or being in an environment where they feel good, where they feel like it's positive, where they feel like, it's just a better vibe, and, they're contributing to something and people are actually gravitating towards them. So they actually become like, the main attraction pretty much, just by their energy, just by what they want to set as a standard, what they want to set as their principles, or what they want to be associated with. And people start gravitating towards them, right? Because they start, essentially being a leader and setting their own table. Those people that would essentially not give you the time of day and spend time with you to be seen at these events will suddenly will want to come and sit at your table. That's kind of the energy I'm getting, right? Yeah. So it's like these people would ditch you and your little event that you've got going on, right? To be seen with these people, right? That they have no affiliation with, but they want to be seen with to try and get a leg up in life. But then when that goes to shit and they see you flourishing and you creating your own table, right? And your event or whatever flourishing, they're going to want to be part of that crowd, right? Because like I said, you are like setting you are setting a new precedent. You are setting the standard, right? You are setting like a new foundation. That was just an example, right? But that's kind of like the energy, you know. Suddenly they're going to want to be seen at your event. Suddenly they're going to want to be at your table, right? But they didn't give a crap about being at your table when they thought that being at this place around these people were like the in thing to do, right? That's kind of the energy. So you're going to get that, okay? That's what I want to say. So just be aware of that also. Yeah. Because people are already struggling. They already don't know what to do because a lot of these things are already playing out as we speak, like I said, right? The tower's already falling. Things are balancing out karmically, okay? The people that were on top by doing all these nefarious things to others are taking huge falls. And the people that have been consistently working on things the right way, they're now being propped up. That's coming, right? So, yeah, there's that. And then you're going to have the hangers on that are going to want to come and be a part of your circle. Yeah. Four of Swords and the Temperance card in reverse. Whoa. Yeah, they know they're running out of time because they've already taken a fall from grace. They are taking a fall from grace. And it's like they feel like they're running out of time, a lot of them. Because like I said, that door, it's open to you, but it's not going to be open for very long. And it's not going to be open to these people. So they feel like they're running out of time to essentially like, you know, hang on to you to get a way in, essentially. That's it. Because they already know things are going awry. So... But again, they haven't done the work. They consistently make these same choices, right? So we have the King of Swords and the Five of Cups. Yeah. So people that are essentially in tyrant energy, people that have benefited from corruption, from lies, from mistreating others, gaslighting people, forging information, right? Completely falsifying things, anything of that nature. Yeah, they're going to be in huge regret because the truth is resurfacing in such a huge way. I definitely feel like it's a time of like, you know, tyrants taking a huge fall, and rightly so, you know, and they're going to realize that corruption and disloyalty, dishonesty, and having no principles, you know, dog eat dog type of mentality will only get you so far. And eventually you're going to come crashing down and have to see the same people that you screwed over, right? And that's what I see here. So it's crazy, you know. But as for you guys, it's not a problem because you've been doing the work. So I feel like, honestly, you're going to be in a really good place. You really are. Yeah, Three of Pentacles. You're going to have new partnerships, new connections, right? New people that you're collaborating with to build these foundations. People that you can support and be supported by. Yeah. So it's going to be, I'm telling you, it's going to be huge, right? The changes that are happening. You know, and no more is it going to be that, you know, the good people, the people that are in those that should be in those positions, rightfully so, are going to be mistreated and, you know, thrown under the gutter. No, like you're going to be in a position where you can call the shots, right? And decide like who you're going to have around you, who you're going to partner with, who you're going to work with, right? Instead of having to play their game or, you know, just navigate such, I don't know, just corrupt bullshit, essentially. So it was a long time coming, put it that way. Yeah. But the main theme is that you have infinite potential and it's time to realize it. Yeah. Exactly. King of Wands. It's time to be the leader you were destined to be. Star card. But it's your choice. It was always your choice with the Lovers, okay? These devil energies can only hold you back for so long, right? But the divine is doing their part as well to lift you up. But you have to choose it. And if you choose it, you will get your justice in whatever shape or form that takes for you. So, wow, this is very powerful. Yeah. I feel like, honestly, there are people here that are going to, like, they're going to help take down establishments that really shouldn't be in operation in the first place. And you're going to help to build a new one. Amazing. Yeah, this is definitely about setting a new precedent here. That's coming in really strong. And knowing that you have the power to do so. Yeah. That's the thing. So anyone that's been a real obstacle to you, anyone that's been trying to stop you from evolving, stop you from making positive changes in your life, progressing in life, anyone that's tried to be an adversary or create obstacles, it's done. 5 of Swords. They've already been defeated, okay? Like, it's already done. They just may not even know it yet. Yeah. But I feel like as well that you know that everything you've been through, it has prepared you, right? It really has. But now you're going to have an opportunity to move away from this energy, right? To lay these situations to rest, to be able to be at peace, right, with your past. You might not be there yet, but you will get there, I'm telling you. And you're going to understand that it was all an intrinsic part of your journey. Yeah. But there's definitely an energy of healing here. There's definitely an energy of whatever is too heavy for you to carry right now, give it to the divine. And trust me, your load will lighten. But your time to come out of the choppy waters, to come out the other side of the storm, is now. Yeah. So you have, like I say, a grace period before it's time to really like roll those sleeves up, right? You have a grace period so that you can get to that place where you can let it go. Like I said, the divine doesn't expect you to be there overnight. Of course not. But it's just, they need you to know, like, you don't have to carry it all anymore. You know, you can hand it over to us. We're dealing with it already on your behalf. That's what you need to know. It's already done. So gorgeous. So any parting advice before we close the read? Hi, Echo. Welcome. Nice to see you. Anything else before we close the read? 9 of Swords in reverse. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. 5 of Pentacles. Chariot in reverse. 4 of Swords. Yeah. That's the thing. You don't have to carry these people's burdens, I'm telling you. You don't have to carry the weight of these people's actions. It's not something that should tax your mind at this point, right? Because whatever nightmare they've been trying to make you live, that's their reality. They're just trying to project that onto you. But that's not where you're headed. I'm telling you, that's not where you're headed, you know? And already the people that have been trying to take advantage of you, whether it's emotionally, but it looks like more so financially and energetically, huge losses. They're already taking huge losses, you know? Because these people didn't want to do the work. They didn't want to ascend chariot energy. They wanted to take advantage of others instead, right? And so now, again, they're going to be trapped on that 3D plane, right? On that level. They're going to be trapped in these 3D energies. They're not going to be able to access these portals. So, again, 5 of Swords. It's already done, you know? I feel like that's just the main energy that they just keep coming through, like, with, like, listen, it's done. You don't need to worry. Yeah. Anyone that's been trying to, like, hurt you, be spiteful towards you, right? Try to ruin your life, your name, your work, your possibilities, your opportunities, your connections, whatever, that's done. Anyone who's been leeching off you energetically, financially, emotionally, done. Okay. And I'm telling you, the divine is trying to, like, essentially not only bring these situations to an end and clear the energy, right? So new energies can come in, but it's like they're already, like, it's almost like they're already sitting. I literally just got this as an energy, like, sorry, as an image. Them sitting there being like, okay, so they're geared to do that. They're supposed to do this. They're supposed to do that. Okay. How about these lot work together? Because they would actually work really well together. Their personalities are really compatible. Also, they bring different skills and it will all, work together in order to make this happen. That's kind of what I'm seeing them do here. So it's like they're already, like, trying to, form, like, new teams, new alliances, new communities, right? Because they know, like, okay, yeah, this would work, right? So there's already been people that's been tapped, on the shoulder, that's going to be part of your community, that's going to be part of your tribe, that's going to be part of your network, right? That's going to be part of your friendship group, people that you may even go on to consider family, someone you might end up having a family with, for some of you. So, you'd be surprised what the divine's doing behind the scenes, right? So it's just really cool. That's why that Three of Pentacles was such a strong energy that came up, because it's like the divine is, like, really working overtime to ensure that there's a true sense of community is established again, because that's what's been annihilated, and that was intentionally done, right? It was systematically destroyed, but that's something we are reestablishing, right? And so that's, like, been a priority for the divine, right? That's why we had to see through these different circumstances who's actually against us and who's actually for us, because a lot of the people that we thought, we would always be friends with, people would consider family, possibly even, like, people we're in relationships with in the past or whatever, were not truly for us, right? They weren't. And so we had to, like, witness that for ourselves. So now that we're aware of that, people who really are on the same vibe, can actually come in. So, yeah, because they don't want us to build foundations just to have it fall apart immediately. Like, it doesn't make sense, So, yeah, 9 of coins, exactly. 9 of swords in reverse, 9 of coins, 9 of pentacles. Nothing to worry about. All of the fears that you had, you can let them go. All of the stresses and concerns, they're going to be replaced with blessings, abundance, support, love, compassion, nurture. Yeah, I'm telling you, a lot of you who've really been through it, especially in terms of, like, spiritual warfare and stuff, you're going to experience the other side of it, the other side of the coin. Yeah, I'm telling you, the divine is keeping their word. They're not, they weren't bluffing. They weren't leading you astray. They weren't giving you false promises, false hope. Like, everything they've shown you is a sign that they're going to deliver for you, how they're going to help turn your situation around. It's happening. So you need to know that, okay? Even if you're not seeing it right now, you're about to, in different ways. It might even be incrementally, but you will see it. Confirmation after confirmation. Yes, community. And who are my people? When the time's right, you'll connect. You'll meet them. How that happens, it can happen in numerous ways, right? It could be chance encounters. It could be events. It could be through others, right? But you'll see. Thank you so very much. You're welcome. So, yeah, that's essentially the reading. But honestly, the energy that came through, like I said, even before I even came on live, was just, whew, it was really intense, but in such a powerful and positive way. Like, I'm telling you, the divine is making good on their promises. They really are, because you didn't falter, you didn't buckle, you didn't allow yourself to be bullied, right? You didn't allow yourself to conform like they wanted you to, right? They didn't want you to just fall in line, or, feel like, you weren't good enough, or you're not capable, or nothing could change for the better, or just to accept that this is it and that's it, no, because you knew that there was more, you knew that things could change, and you're proactively looking to be a part of that change. It's going to happen. All you had to do was make the choice, literally, and then back that up with your actions. You do that, you'll be surprised what's going to change for you. But I'm telling you, it's happening, It really is. Like, I can't stress it enough. Like, the way the energy is coming in and it keeps being like reinforced, like it's and I understand, it's been a long journey for a lot of us. Trust me, I can tell you, for me as well, it's been a long, long journey. I had to go through my trials and tribulations. I had to make my mistakes. I had to, open my eyes to certain things. I had to make changes. I had to grow. I had to evolve, I had to also remember who I was, and just really embrace who I am, like, and own it fully. I'm on that journey as well. So that's how I can even talk about it, because it's things that I've had to do myself. So, we're all on this journey together at the end of the day. So, hot mess. So intense. You made me cry in a good way. Oh, that's confirmation for me. Oh, bless you. And I'm not gonna say sorry for making you cry, because that sounds like it's catharsis and it's healing, which is great actually. But yeah, so I'm not gonna say sorry I made you cry, because I feel like that's not a negative cry, which is awesome. And that's what it's all about, and that's what the divine wants you to do, to just feel like it's safe for you to let go, to purge, to release, to let that weight go. You don't have to carry it anymore, and you've been so strong. So many of you guys, oh my gosh, like the comments, I read your comments, and I'm sorry, sometimes like it doesn't always come up straight away. So I don't see them until I'm in like YouTube studio and stuff. But I read your comments, and the things that you guys share with me, like it's mind blowing. I know you guys have, a lot of you have been through it, and you've been going through it. But honestly, you are so strong, and the fact that you've got this far, and the divine can say, yes, you've done it, you did the work, you kept going, and now it's time to release it. You deserve that release. You deserve to let that go, right? You deserve that opportunity to let that go and continue moving forward, Like, I'm telling you, it's not everyone could have done what you guys have been doing. That's what you need to realize. You're incredibly powerful. You're incredibly strong, And the thing is, you don't know who, like, is going to look at that and see it as a source of, like, encouragement or inspiration, when they need it. So, yeah, you guys should be proud of yourselves, how far you've come. And this is just the beginning, I'm telling you. There's a lot more to come. And I feel like it's about to get really good in a lot of cases. Of course, there will be some rocky times. There always are. You always have to take the rough with the smooth, but you're more than equipped to handle it, that's for sure. More than equipped. I'm that girl. I'm fine. I've got this all. Willpower in the 3D. So when spirit hits me, I cry. I never do otherwise. Yeah. Bless you. No, that's it, Like, you definitely should be proud of yourselves, for sure. All right. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see how things unfold, and, just like, I don't know. I'm just excited for the future, to be honest with you. Because I feel like it's a game changer. Like, to be a part of things, be here in this moment, it's wow. It's big, So it's exciting, It can be a little bit overwhelming at times. That's where grounding is going to be important, but it is really exciting. And I just feel like, if we maintain that mindset of being excited rather than afraid, then things could get really good. It really can. And especially, because like I say, there are others, right, in the collective that are going through some real rough times, like we know there's people that are literally experiencing like physical wars and persecution and stuff like that. So it's going to be really important that those of us who are blessed to not be in those circumstances, that we do our part to help change things for the better that will also help them, right? Because yeah, I mean, we're all in this together at the end of the day. So if we can do our bit to help, like, use our energy in a positive way and show up for the collective as a whole to help make better, like, I don't know, better choices, but also to lead by example, then if we're all doing that and we're forming these communities and we're showing that growth doesn't have to mean tyranny, it doesn't have to mean greed, it doesn't have to mean corruption, then who knows what that can go on to do. So I just feel like that's really important, that we lead by example and that we do it not just for ourselves, but, for our larger family out there, who really need to see a light at the end of the tunnel as well, So that's kind of how I feel about it anyway. But yes, that's my 2 cents for the day. Oh man. So yeah, I'm gonna end the stream there because trying to conserve my voice. I do have to record some readings tomorrow. Especially now that I'm doing a lot better. I did have a cold for quite some time. Oh, it was just annoying, it was just dragging. But now that I'm actually doing a lot better and I have time again, yeah, I definitely want to get on course with the readings. I'm really curious what's going to come up because the energy has been nuts, I'm telling you. I've had a couple of readings that I need to do where I had messages that are important, so I will prioritize them as well. But I am just curious to tap in and see what comes up as well because yeah, I just feel like it's gonna be nuts, to be honest with you. And rather than it feeling like, there's only this choice or that choice, I feel like we're gonna see more possibilities unfolding, more opportunities and just I just feel like it's gonna be a time where we can feel like instead of like having certain things like where you're almost like backed into a corner or like given some kind of ultimatum, it's more free flowing, like there's more opportunity, there's more room for actual choices rather than just being given ultimatums, right? Which again is reflective of the oppression of this current structure, right? But that's now changing, so I'm really excited to see those possibilities unfold and being able to relay those messages. So awesome. But I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who has been tuning into the chat. I really appreciate it, especially you, Hot Mess. You're freaking awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super like. Thank you for your comments. I really appreciate you and how you've been showing up on the channel. Your energy is awesome. So thank you for being a part of the community. Everyone who's tuned in, thank you so much. Everyone who commented, of course, everyone who has been supporting the channel in general, I really appreciate it. This year has been nuts, like I mentioned in my community post, where I went from being pretty much like, felt like I was being shadow banned and, so having my channel suppressed in a lot of ways to finally being able to actually reach you guys properly. So I really, really appreciate your support. It really does go a long way. And just connecting with you guys as well. It's been truly awesome. So I'm excited to do more of that. And yeah, there's a lot more content that I have in the works. So keep an eye out for the updates. They'll be coming soon. But for now, I just hope you guys have an awesome day or evening, depending on where you are. Thank you to everyone who'll be watching after the fact as well. And I look forward to reading for you guys tomorrow. So for now, take care. Wishing you guys all the best. Sending you all my love. And yeah, just don't forget that this is your time now, okay? This is your time. So give yourself that grace period because you deserve it, okay? Love you all. Thank you so much. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye.